And China had big influence in CES this year. And for more on that, we're joined by Einar Tangen. He is in Beijing. He's a senior fellow at the Taihe Institute and chairman of Asia Narratives. Einar, always good to see you. Thanks very much for coming in.
Good to see you, Sean.
What did you think of that? I mean, it's pretty cool. And China had about 1/4 of all the booths at that, to give you an idea of just how big that is. More than 130,000 people taking in all of this. It's been a big week.
Oh, absolutely. There are about 4,000 exhibitors. Over 1,000 were Chinese, and that's up from last year when it was just under 500 Chinese exhibitors were there. You saw a mixture of, old names, Alibaba, Lenovo, TCL, Asus in there, but you also saw a lot of new ones, Dream, BOE. Well, BOE's been around for Ecovacs. Wonderful. It's nice to see the market at work. That it's about consumer-driven innovations, green energy, all of these things. It's kind of fun. I mean, I never really thought of putting my steak in a kind of toaster-like oven, but it sounds great.
We were discussing that out here. We'll finish that one off camera between you and I. But let's talk about, I mean, these events, these next generation things, they always draw the oh wow type of reaction from people. And China is on the leading edge of much of this, especially if not the world leader in AI, certainly right up there with the United States.
Well, yes, and this is the issue. China has really done very well because they're very consumer driven. There's a lot of theory out there developed also all over the place, including in China. But until you take that theory and put it into some sort of product or service, it's it's just a theory. You have to make money from it, and China has been excelling at this. Innovation, this old carrot that somehow China doesn't innovate. I mean, that's kind of silly. You can see that clearly
right.
by all these things. Air, water from air. I love that. I don't have to spend 15 seconds filling the tap on my coffee machine. That's great.
We were wondering how that would work in a very arid environment. And again, that's another question for another time. But let's talk about this, because there's always been, at least in the past several years in the U.S., this concern about China kind of moving in. But when they see all these gee whiz type things come down, people rush to them.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, go back 100 some odd years ago when it was the U.S. and these Yankee inventors who are running around with their new inventions, whether it's the light bulb or the telegraph, et cetera, et cetera. U.S. went through a period of innovation, and they really, really wowed the world. And you see China doing the exact same thing. Japan did it. Remember the Walkman and things like this. And this is kind of China's time to shine. Let's see if they can keep it up. But certainly the innovation factor quite clearly has moved to China. And you cannot deny, if you go to CES and you see the range of products and all the problems you didn't know you need to solve, it really makes a huge difference. And it gives us the sense, this people-to-people exchange where you understand things are happening.
You and I need to get a ticket to that thing next year and take a look at some of these devices that are out there as well. And I think you also touched upon it earlier. There's a big change that's happened maybe just in the last decade from made in China to manufactured in China.
Well, yeah, I mean, China is not only part of this global supply chain of intermediate goods that go into goods that are assembled in other places. I mean, there's so much innovation going on. I mean, they've come out with a new system that can use this proton gun therapy for half the price of conventional systems that were developed elsewhere.
Right.
And that's health. And then you just keep going on with all of these different areas where a very competitive Chinese industry is looking for niches where they can do well.
Yeah, indeed. And also these motorcycles, cars, I could go on and on, but Einar will pick this up again. Always a pleasure. Have a great weekend, my friend, and thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Sean.